Today I will talk about mortuary service. It is part of my series of lectures on hospital management. This is my lecture outline. First I will give introduction, then I will talk about mortuary design, then I will talk about other functions of mortuary, then I will talk about postmortem or autopsy, then I will talk about human tissue authority standards, then I will talk about performance indicators of postmortem service. Mortuary is a place where dead bodies are kept to deal with them as per needs of society and law. From wards, dead bodies are sent to mortuary along with death certificate. Responsibilities of mortuary include to preserve dead bodies in cold store, to hand over particular dead bodies to its rightful relatives, organizations for its last rites. Functions of mortuary include to keep dead bodies till relatives claim, viewing and identification of dead bodies by relatives and friends, to keep unclaimed dead bodies till they are handed over to religious organizations or municipal bodies, to keep dead bodies for pathological or medico-legal autopsy, demonstration of autopsy to medical students. So these are functions of mortuary. Then about mortuary design. Location, either at one end or slightly away from main hospital building should be the location of mortuary. Since relatives visit mortuary during distress, it should have pleasant surroundings. Mortuary should not be directly overlooked by the balconies of the wards, and there should be subterranean approach to mortuary building. Space requirement. Total area requirement is approximately 0.7 square meter per bed. Space to keep dead bodies should be about 1% of total hospital beds. It is assuming anticipated death rate as one death per bed per year. Postmortem room should be at least 40 square meter for two postmortem tables, and there should be 15 square meter addition for each PM table. Then viscera room, duties room, staff room, changing room with shower facility and store each should be at least 12 square meter, and waiting hall for relatives should be 15 square meter. In addition, there should be a police room and a conference room in mortuary. Floor should be smooth, non-slippery, hard and water impervious. Wall should be smooth, washable, no edges, no corners, and it should be durable to bear accidental hit by a trolley. Ceiling height should be 10 feet. Door and corridor should be wide enough to admit portable X-ray units and trolleys. Corridor should be 8 feet wide. There should be proper ventilation with 10 changes of air per hour. There should be availability of hot and cold water, and tap should be elbow operated type, and there should be availability of fire safety measures. Either tungsten or fluorescent lighting may be used. Illumination required is as follows. For postmortem room, in general, 250 to 300 lux, but for postmortem table, it should be 1500 to 2000 lux. For pathologists and forensic expert room, it should be 150 to 200 lux. For staff change room, store and body store, it should be at least 100 lux. Equipments required in mortuary include postmortem table, mortuary chamber, bone and meat cutting saw, X-ray machine, weighing machine, vacuum cleaner. Spectrophotometer and chromatography equipments may be required for chemical analysis. There should be cold storage facility for bodies. It should be of filing cabinet type with each body separately stored. And here's when should be available. It can be either acquired by the hospital for large hospitals, or it should be available otherwise. Then staffing, 2 pathologists or forensic expert are required for 150 autopsies, and additional pathologist and forensic expert is required for every 100 autopsies. 5 morgue attendants for round-the-clock duties required, and at least 3 class 4 workers are required for a mortuary. Then other considerations of mortuary, other functions. Mortuary records, records related to storage of bodies with date and time of receipt of body, records related to handing over of bodies with date and time of handing over and signature of person to whom body was handed over, and records related to autopsy. Then about mortuary staff and infections. Mortuary staff is susceptible to infections, especially pulmonary tuberculosis, and there is a risk for rabies, hepatitis B, and HIV. Prevention of infections include education and orientation of staff for prevention of infection, universal precautions in general, and special precautions for HIV positive dead bodies, and vaccination for rabies and hepatitis B. Then identification of dead bodies. It is by identification wristbands, which should include name, age, and hospital registration number. And in case of neonate, mother's particulars are also required in wristbands. And same information on death certificate. And tag with same information to be put on doors of cabin concerned. Hand and footprint of neonates should be there on case sheet, and body need to be identified by at least two relatives before handing over body to them. Then about autopsy. Postmortem or autopsy means examination of a dead body and its circumstances for arriving at a cause and manner of death, essentially from a medical point of view. Autopsy may be medico-legal autopsy or non-medico-legal autopsy. Non-medico-legal autopsy is also referred to as pathology autopsy or pathological autopsy. Medico-legal autopsies to fix the responsibility of death conducted in all criminal cases, vehicular accidents, burns, sexual assault, etc. And in medico-legal autopsy, postmortem is done after inquest. Medical officer can ask for circumstances of death, including examination of death scene and clothes. Medico-legal autopsies are done only during daytime. I am sorry, this should be read as daytime in natural light and with ample time. Sampling of tissues is taken as per requirement. Non-medico-legal autopsies are also known as pathology autopsies. It is done when attending doctor feels that autopsy will throw some useful light in the medical world on disease process. Permission of next of kin as well as medical superintendent is required. It is done by pathologist and it can be done anytime in 24 hours. All internal organs are collected and blocked for examination. Then, since it is a related topic, I will talk about Human Tissue Authority standards, and similar standards are available for mortuary in general. So let us see HTA standards. I have taken from this internet resource. So first category of standards are on governance and quality system standards. So all aspects of the establishment work are supported by ratified documented policies and procedures as part of overall governance process. There is a documented system of quality management and audit. Staff are appropriately qualified and trained in techniques relevant to their work and are continuously updating their skills. There is a systematic and planned approach to the management of records. A coding and record system facilitates traceability of bodies, body parts, tissues, cells, ensuring a robust audit trail. There are systems to ensure that all adverse event reactions and or incidents are investigated promptly. Risk assessment of the establishment's practice and process are completed regularly and are recorded and monitored appropriately. So these are standards on governance and quality system. Then standards on premises, facilities, and equipment. The premises are fit for the purpose. Environmental controls are in place to avoid potential contamination. There are appropriate facilities for the storage of bodies, body part, tissues, cells, consumable, and records. Systems are in place to protect the quality and integrity of bodies, body part, tissues, and cells during transport and delivery to a destination. Equipment is appropriate for use, maintained, quality assured, validated, and where appropriate, monitored. Then the standard on disposal. There is a clear and sensitive policy for disposing of human organs and tissues. PM tissues is disposed of if consent is not given for its storage and use for scheduled purpose only. Now about performance indicators. So these are certain performance indicators I have taken from this internet resource. Some of them are percent of toxicology examination completed within 90 calendar days, and similarly percentage of toxicology examinations completed within 60 calendar days, percentage of all reports of postmortem examination completed within 90 days, percent of mortuary transport service scene response within 1 hour of transport notification, percent of decedent cases scientifically identified within 5 days, percentage of hospital cases wherein medical examiner's jurisdiction is determined within 24 hours of the initial death report, percentage of all decedents with no known next of kin to be entered into a particular authority as per this internet resource prior to the release of the decedent for public disposition, percentage of decedent storage unit space unoccupied within morgue during normal operation periods, number of postmortem examinations performed, full, partial, not including external examinations, percentage of external autopsy requests responded to within 2 business days of receipt, percentage of forensic pathologists that are board certified or board eligible, percentage of employees completing and maintaining licensure, certification, industry-specific, web-based, internal agency training. So this is all for today. Thank you very much.